City on CFMH 107.3 FM. And joining us now on the phone is Linda Watson. And actually Linda ran against Bev Harrison in the last provincial election and is a Liberal and is actually attending a meeting of Liberals tonight at the Belle Isle Community Centre. And she's joined us on the phone to chat about this issue briefly before she attends her meeting. Hi, Linda.
Hi, Mark. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good, good.
Thanks a lot for joining us. I understand you're heading into a meeting fairly soon.
Yeah, I see a few signs out there in the parking lot.
Okay. So what is the meeting about?
This is our annual meeting for our Hampton Kings Liberal Association.
Okay.
Okay, you have to have an annual meeting once a year, re-election of officers, etc. And Honorable Jack here is our guest speaker.
Okay. And I understand that that despite the fact that you are a Liberal and ran for Liberals, that you oppose these cuts. Why is that?
Why? Because it affects so many people in my community. Plus, they talk about them only cutting 15 jobs. Well, guess what? 15 full-time jobs. There's all these seasonals and casuals who have been put on as deckhands. And, you know, you only have to have a grade 10 education to be on the ferry. I have 3 guys that look after their elderly parents. They work 6 months on the ferry, and then they have 6 months unemployment. It's a source of income for them. But we have a lot of people down in lower cars and out in Wickham who travel to St. John every day across the ferry to go to work. One instance is a young couple. They take 2 cars because she's a nurse and he has a business in there. And he told me the other night that, I said, what would it cost to do this, to go around? And he said, I don't care about the cost. He said, it's time. He said, it will take 2 weeks a year out of my time that I have to spend with my children and my family. And he said, that's for both of us, in the time it'll take to travel around.
Now, with you, are you finding, obviously in the legislature, this is, playing out as a partisan issue, Liberal, versus Conservative. In your community, are you finding anybody who thinks these cuts are okay? Any Liberals or any other people?
No one thinks it's okay. No one thinks it's okay at all. Especially a lot of the cottage people. We have 60, 70 cottages down on the Wickham side, on the Cars side, and they come up and they go to Mark, they go to the Creddles, they go to Bob Bates' place and cross the ferry and up for the weekend. And then they can whip across the ferry into Hampton or do whatever they want to. They're not going to be able to do that now. They'll probably stock up in St. John and stay at their cottage.
Now, at this meeting tonight, do you expect this particular issue to dominate?
No. I made sure that the people I'm involved with on Save the Ferries knew that we were having a meeting tonight, and I told them it was fine if they want to put signs up, and if they want to come in and speak to the minister, before the meeting gets going, that's fine, because it's a social time beforehand, before the meeting starts, and and I know they're not going to be rowdy anyway. We've already had 2 demonstrations, so I'm not expecting any problems for sure.
And do you plan to talk to Mr. Keir yourself?
Yes.
And do you plan to address this issue directly with him?
To direct this issue with him?
Yeah.
Yes, I am. Because someone from our committee had contacted him, and he said, well, it's not my writing, so I'm not worried about the issue, But yes,
certainly...
it could be his ferries, because he has 2 in his writing.
Yeah.
It could be Westfield and Avondale.
Now, these ferries are obviously a mode of transportation for people, first and foremost. Is there also a kind of a sentimental connection to these ferries for people in the community?
Oh, definitely. I mean, these ferries have been here, I don't know how many years, and our ferry is worn out. And Minister Landry was surprised when I agreed with him and said it was worn out. But they dumped one of ours off the coast of Nova Scotia that was supposed to come to us. And there's still one at Westfield that can come to us. It's all double-hulled and everything, But it's sentimental. It's part of our tourism. The antique cars travel in the summertime. The motorbikes travel them in the summertime. And I'm not just talking Belial. I'm talking Gagetown, too. Hampstead was a seasonal fix, but we'd still like to keep it, because of all the farmers that use it and the trucks and that in the summertime.
In terms of your day-to-day life, how does it affect you?
doesn't affect me. I live at the head of the Belial, and if I cross the ferry, I'll be down with my grandchildren and go get an ice cream and come back up the other side. It doesn't affect me at all. I'm a community person, and I feel for the people in the community that are having this taken away from them.
Right. Are you surprised? I mean, you ran for this party. Does this kind of position take you by surprise personally?
I'm in a conservative riding. You know, they cut 2 government garages, made them winter garages in my riding also. So we've got cut 3 times. Not just by the ferry, but 2 garages. So those people are going to be shifted into working at the ferry.
So you think that if you...
I just say I'm having a hard time being a Liberal right now, and I am.
Right. So you think if you had been elected that this may not have happened? Do you think this may be happening because it's a Conservative riding?
Sure. I really do. You know, and I know that day that we were in the legislature last Thursday afternoon, our premier was sort of backed into a corner by the Conservatives. You know, they weren't coming up, the Conservatives were not coming up with great ideas to help us save our ferries. You know, they were just going at them about cuts, so to say, you know. I do have that transcript from that day, too. Anyway.
All right, well, I know you need to get into your meeting, so I very much appreciate you joining us by phone.
Well, thank you. Thank you for calling me and talking to me, and hey, just champion our cause, will you?
Okay.
Okay.
See you later.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And that was Linda Watson, and she was joining us just before she went into a meeting of Liberals at the Belle Isle Community Centre. And I'm Mark Legier, and you were listening to Surf City on CFMH 107.3 FM. And we will be talking to Billy Carter, a Hampton resident who is strongly involved in the opposition to these cuts, and we'll be chatting with him in a couple of minutes. He's actually here with us in the studio. But first we're going to play a tune by Luc Doucet, who was performing at Backstreet